so-called Negro community has shocked the white man by resisting all efforts to divide us. I think that you and I should continue to shock him by staying and working together in unity, despite religious, political, economic, or educational or social differences.
My people are terrified. We've been terrorized to the point that we're mentally and spiritually paralyzed. We suffered through centuries of dehumanization and degradation. It took the form of slavery and segregation in this land of the free, where oppression's government sanctioned. We're subjected to systemic skin color discrimination, from black codes to Jim Crow to black criminalization. It's been 400 years, it's time for our liberation. We're a nation within a nation, victims of colonization. Where's our revolution and Independence Day celebration? Cause what's the 4th of July to the slave on the plantation? And slavery didn't end, they just changed its implementation. Just check the 13th Amendment, then you'll see why so many black males end up as guilty defendants. The system isn't broken, it's working as it's intended. So I'm not here to fix it, I'm here to end it.
And then again, if we tell you that Negroes are being hung on the tree or being shot down illegally, unjustly, and those Negroes should do something to protect themselves, you say you're advocating violence.
I won't rest till this nightmare we're living in ends, and we see justice for our murdered young innocent men. If black lives really matter, black people need the proof. Cause we are the only ones responsible for our improvement. How can we leave it to someone else to do what's best for us, especially when there's someone else has historically been oppressing us? We can't use a system built to enslave us to free us, and we really sick if we think that they white Jesus can heal us. Our children need us to defend them, teach them and guide them, show them love and bring out the greatness that is deep inside them. Are we gonna build a nation or stay on the plantation? Keep begging for our freedom or fight for our liberation?
When the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, he didn't say get nonviolent. He said praise the Lord, but pass the ammunition.
We must be willing to die together, or we'll definitely die separately. We desperately need unity if liberation is our destiny. If we don't know our history, then we doomed to repeat it. White supremacy is the enemy, but together we can defeat it. They stole us from the motherland, sold us into slavery, forced us to work for them. They got the nerve to call us lazy. In this caste system, we're outcasts, still treated as second class. But I can feel it in the air, revolutions in the forecast. We came for greatness, but they don't want us to know. So they hid our history to keep us under control. All it takes is to take a stand. The enemy's not invincible, but we must come together as one nation indivisible.
20 million black people don't even know their own language. Why? Because he took it away from them. 20 million black people who don't even know the history of their ancestors. Why? Because he took it away from them. And if you're trying to tell them how thoroughly and completely they've been robbed, he says you're teaching hate. That's something to think about. Today you are coming out of college. You're coming out of the leading university. You're trying to go in a good direction, but you don't know which direction to go in.
So I ran across this thread here by this sister on Twitter, and man, boy, she let these feminists have it. I mean, look, you know what? Let's just read what the sister said. I want y'all to really think about what she said here. So the first tweet reads, modern feminism taught women to hate men, reject motherhood, devalue the roles of wives, prioritize money over family, uplift promiscuity, and reject beauty inside and out. It taught women to covet the man's role and see it as superior to our own. The damage has been done. A lot of women won't see how horribly misled they were until it's too late. Your power as a woman does not come from being like a man. It comes from being everything that a man is not. Wake up and embrace that. Modern feminism is just misogyny. You're a maid as a wife, a slave as a mother, deletions of children, y'all know how that word is on YouTube, are self-love, put your money first, hate men, but get naked for them so you can have their money and attention. That's empowering. Get as fat as you want, happiness before health. It's liberating to be a slave to your sexual impulses. That empty feeling you have at the end of the night just means you need more. Y'all see the eggplant emoji. You're all tens, you're all queens, and you deserve the world for just existing. No, you don't need to have a great personality. You have a, y'all see the emoji, right? And many women will see the byproducts of this lifestyle as men's fault all the way to the end. They won't ever reflect on the hand that they had in their own outcomes, just bitterness, misery, and loneliness. This is what happened. Well, this is what happens when you reject your nature. It hurts a lot. Family, I'm going to tell you something. There is a segment of women in our community that this does apply to. And it's very sad because, like, you know, this sister here, when women try to tell other women that this applies to about their behavior, they get shot down and called all kinds of pick-me's. But at some point, you have to look around your environment and see, is there any truth to what's being said? Because, see, here's the thing. Whether you agree or disagree, the segment of women this applies to, we see what their lives are like. And see, this is why we want the younger sisters to pay attention and not make the same mistakes. There's an old saying, sometimes the best way in life to learn things is not so much by you going and having the experience. Sometimes you can learn from other people's experience with certain things. That would be very wise. You don't have to go and put yourself inside of a lake of fire before you can figure out that's exactly what it is, and it'll burn your ass to death. You can see the other idiot that jumped in there, and hey, look, you don't do that. And see, today, America, unfortunately, promotes this take no accountability lifestyle towards all races of women today. It ain't just our community, but y'all know me, I'm only concerned about our community. So that's what I speak about. But this affects all races of women, to be clear. It's not just in our community. Do whatever you want. Go through life with the wee mentality like a little kid. Yeah, but see, when time catches up to you, when your consequences, catch up to you because you chose to make certain decisions, and there's a big difference between a mistake and a bad decision. A mistake is unforeseen occurrence. That can happen to all of us. A bad decision requires a series of thoughts that leads to a choice. I'm going to say that again, so hopefully that will sink in. A bad decision requires a series of thoughts that leads to a choice. So what I'm telling you, while you out here, sisters, you younger ones especially, you better start to learn from this. There's a lot of truth in the statements that she said. And I'm going to let y'all know something too, for the sisters that's listening. 'Cause like I said, the knuckleheads ain't going to get it. You ain't got to argue with me. All you got to do is look around at a lot of these miserable, single, lonely women that, played away in their younger years. And then later on, they've got themselves in situations where you're sitting around looking like Vivica Fox and just as bitter as she is, if not worse. Here's the thing you got to remember. Your time, young sisters and brothers, your time is a non-renewable resource. the most precious non-renewable resource that you have. You waste your time, you don't get it back. You don't get a do-over once you waste your time. Okay? And see, the decisions and choices that we make, you wasting your time, man, hey, it only works against you. It never works for you. And see, I want you youngsters to consider this also. When you're handed constructive criticism, first of all, learn the difference between constructive and non-constructive criticism, because a lot of people going to come over here and probably think that this is negative. Anytime that you try to point out a fault with the women in our community, you better learn the difference between constructive and non-constructive criticism, and then start to say, okay, if I'm being told about my behavior as a woman, you don't always need to turn around and talk about, what about the men? The men are going to be held accountable. We are, especially black men. Oh, we're going to be held accountable for what we do. And there's a time and a place for those discussions. But if every time that you are told about something that you need to consider as far as your behavior, if your go-to response is, well, what about the men? I'm going to tell you, you missing a good opportunity to do some self-reflection, especially if it's people that are talking to you in good faith that are close to you, your family members, friends that have known you a long time, sometimes colleagues or what have you. If more than one group of people is coming up to you telling you about the same thing, you might not want to blow everybody off. You might want to sit and think with that, and then take the time to make some adjustments as need be. Or you can choose to do whatever you want, just shirk accountability. And then I'll tell you this, if that's what you choose, don't complain about the outcome of that, because it's only going to end one way. You avoid accountability and taking accountability for your actions and trying to change and make adjustments when you see that you messing up on certain things, or you consistently see that you're doing something and it doesn't get you a different productive result, then you got to live with that. Don't you blame all men, because see, if you just keep dealing with men to the point that you got to say all men ain't, you know what, there's a common denominator. You fall back from the dating market for a minute and try to figure things out. Try to look at where you attracting these men at. Is it something about you need to change? I mean, hey, I'm just saying, for those of you that have some sense, maybe you'll take some of this to heart. But with that said, I'm going to end it right here. Black first. See you all in future content. Celebrate the foundational Black American culture of freedom, fighting, and resistance with the first annual Aretasase 5K run. This cultural experience will honor our FBA ancestors and icons while harnessing energy from our past to power our future. There will be security at this event to ensure everyone has a safe and enjoyable experience. Aretasase Run is a cultural event for family and friends. Strollers and wheelchairs are welcome. The in-person event will include a free 1-mile fun walk and will be held on December 17th in Tampa, Florida. Unable to make the live event, you can also participate virtually anywhere from December 17th to December 30th. All registered participants will receive the official Aretasase Run finisher medal, t-shirt, and more, with the ability to upload their race time to the official site. Live event participants will receive the time race scores, professional finisher photo, video, and your name will be announced as you're welcomed across the finish line. Enjoy the post-race after party and refuel with a traditional FBA breakfast. You can also help us settle fun family debates like sugar or salt and grits. Prepare with family workouts and runs, and post on social media using the hashtag Aretasase Run. For registered info and sponsorship opportunities, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Click the link in the bio. Hope to see you all there.